Welcome back to TalesBlip, and today's story is I gave my husband an ultimatum today. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm 32. I'm a stay-at-home mom, which basically means I spend my days chasing after my 4-year-old son, cleaning up messes, and trying to figure out how to get dinner on the table before my husband gets home. Now, get ready for the story. The air hung heavy in our bedroom, thick with the unspoken tension that had been building between my husband, Mark, and me for months. I knew something had to change, and I was tired of waiting for him to take the first step. So, I decided to take matters into my own hands. The weeks leading up to my ultimatum were a blur of sleepless nights, agonizing over the implications of my actions, and desperately trying to find a way to salvage our marriage. I had spent countless hours scrolling through countless articles, reading self-help books, and desperately searching for any shred of hope that could save our marriage. I had tried everything: couples counseling, romantic getaways, even a complete overhaul of our bedroom decor, but nothing seemed to work. Mark had become distant, withdrawn, and increasingly secretive. He was always working late, always out with the guys. His phone was always on silent, his social media accounts locked down. He had become a stranger in our own home, a ghost in our own lives. I felt myself slipping away, drowning in a sea of doubt and despair. The spark that once ignited our relationship, the passion that had burned so brightly, had dwindled to a flickering flame, barely clinging to life. One evening, as I sat in our living room, staring blankly at the flickering television, I knew I had to take a stand. I had to make a choice. A choice that would determine the fate of our marriage. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay awake, my mind racing, trying to piece together the puzzle of Mark's behavior. I knew something was wrong. I knew he was hiding something. I just didn't know what. The next morning, I was determined to get answers. I spent the morning scouring Mark's belongings, searching for clues, for any indication of what was happening in his life outside of our home. My search led me to his desk drawer, where I found a small, leather-bound journal. The journal was locked, but my desperation overrode any sense of hesitation. I managed to pry the lock open and flip through the pages, my heart pounding in my chest as I read the entries. The journal contained a detailed chronicle of Mark's infidelity, a diary of his secret life. He wrote about his meetings with her, his secret rendezvous, and his dreams of a life without me. He described her in glowing terms, calling her beautiful, intelligent, and passionate. He spoke of her with a longing and desire that had vanished from his relationship with me. As I read his words, I felt a wave of anger, sadness, and betrayal wash over me. I was shattered, broken, my world turned upside down. How could he do this to me? How could he betray our vows, our family, our love? But along with the pain, I felt a surge of determination. I would not be a victim. I would not let him destroy our marriage. I would fight for what we had, for what we could be. That evening, I decided to confront him, to make him face his actions. I carefully chose my words, crafting an ultimatum that was both powerful and poignant. I wanted him to understand the gravity of his actions and the consequences of his choices. I spent the rest of the day preparing, gathering the evidence I needed to make my case, and arranging the suitcases that would become the physical representation of our choices. Mark walked through the door, his usual happy-go-lucky demeanor absent. "Hey, hun," he said, his voice flat. "What's all this?" he asked, gesturing towards the 2 suitcases positioned on either side of me. One had MJ emblazoned on it in bold lettering, the other had SJ. My heart hammered in my chest. I was about to do something drastic, something I never imagined I would do. But I had reached my limit. "Are we going on a trip?" he asked, his brow furrowed in confusion. "We might be," I replied, my voice trembling a little. "It all depends on which suitcase you pick." "Yours," I gestured to the suitcase with his initials, "or mine?" "Why do I have to pick?" He sounded confused, even a little amused. "Because each of these suitcases represents our marriage in a different way," I explained, my voice firm. "If you pick your suitcase, it means you don't love me anymore and don't want to be married to me. You should take the bag and leave." I paused, allowing my words to sink in, before continuing. "But if you pick my suitcase, it means you do love me and will do anything to save our marriage." My eyes locked with his, searching for any sign of understanding, of guilt, of regret. There was nothing but confusion. He stared at me, his face a mask of disbelief. "Are you serious?" he finally managed to say. I'm deadly serious. I said, my voice cold. Pick a suitcase, Mark. Make your choice. He looked from one suitcase to the other, his gaze flickering back and forth like a trapped bird. I choose your suitcase, he finally said, pointing at the one with my initials. Relief washed over me, a wave of emotion so powerful it threatened to drown me. I stood up, crossed the distance between us, and kissed him. I returned to my spot on the bed, the weight of the situation pressing down on me. Now will you tell me what all of this was really about, he asked, his voice laced with curiosity and concern. Of course, honey, I said, a smile playing on my lips. I unzipped my suitcase, my heart pounding against my ribs. As Mark leaned closer, his eyes widening with each passing moment, I reached into the suitcase and pulled out a small, leather-bound journal. I handed it to him, a smirk playing on my lips. I've been keeping this journal for a few months now, I said, my voice low. It contains all the evidence I've been collecting. Evidence of your infidelity. Mark's face turned pale as he flipped through the journal, his eyes scanning the entries, the photos, the receipts, all the pieces of the puzzle that had been slowly coming together in my mind. I'm sorry, Sarah, he said, his voice barely a whisper. I don't know what to say. I don't need words, Mark, I said. I need action. I need you to show me that you're willing to fight for us, to fight for our marriage. I paused, my gaze unwavering, and I need you to understand that I'm not playing games here. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. Mark looked up at me, his eyes pleading. I'll do anything, he said. Just please, tell me what you want me to do. I want you to prove to me that you love me. I said, I want you to choose me. I want you to show me that you're willing to fight for our future. I will, Sarah, he said, I promise. I love you. He reached for my hand, his fingers interlacing with mine. He squeezed my hand tightly, and I could feel the sincerity in his touch. I need time to think, he said. I need time to figure out how I can make things right. I nodded, understanding. I knew that this was just the beginning of our journey, the first step in a long and difficult process. But I also knew that we had a chance to make things right. We had a chance to rebuild our marriage, stronger than ever before. The weight of Mark's betrayal hung heavy in the air. It was like a thick fog that had settled over our home, choking the life out of everything we once held dear. I could feel the tension in my muscles, the tightness in my chest, the ever-present lump in my throat. Mark sat on the edge of the bed, his eyes downcast, his shoulders slumped. He had spent the past hour in a state of near silence, his only words mumbled apologies and empty promises. I don't understand, he finally said, his voice a mere rasp. How could I have done this? How could I have let this happen? I don't know, Mark, I said, my voice weary, but it doesn't matter now. What matters is what happens next. What do you plan to do? I want to make things right, he said, his voice pleading. I want to fix this. I want to be with you. I want to be a good husband, a good father. Actions speak louder than words, Mark, I said, my voice steely. I need you to show me that you're serious. I need to see a change, a real, tangible change in your behavior. I need to know that you're willing to fight for our marriage, for our family. I will, Sarah, he said, his voice firm. I promise you, I will. His sincerity was palpable, but a part of me remained skeptical. I had been hurt before, betrayed before. It was difficult to trust him, to believe that he was truly sorry for what he had done. I need time, I said, my voice soft. I need time to process everything, to figure out what I want to do. Mark nodded, understanding. He didn't push me, didn't try to force me into making a decision. He simply sat there, his hand reaching out to me, his gaze pleading for forgiveness. The days that followed were a blur of emotions, anger, sadness, confusion, and a flicker of hope. I spent my days lost in a sea of thoughts, trying to make sense of everything that had happened, trying to find a way to move forward. Mark, on the other hand, seemed to be on a mission. He was determined to prove his love for me, to demonstrate his commitment to our marriage. He was always there, offering to help with chores, spending time with our son, trying to make me laugh. His effort was undeniable. His remorse genuine. He was making a conscious effort to be present, to be attentive, to be the husband I had always wanted him to be. But even with all his efforts, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. There was a wall between us, a chasm of mistrust that was hard to bridge. I couldn't erase the memories of his betrayal, the pain of his lies. One evening, as we sat on the couch watching a movie, Mark turned to me, his eyes filled with a mix of hope and fear. "Sarah," he said, "I know I hurt you. I know I messed up. But I love you. I really do. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right." "I appreciate that, Mark," I said, "but it's not just about what you say. It's about what you do. It's about proving to me that you're truly committed to our marriage, that you're willing to fight for us." "I'm willing to do anything," he said, his voice earnest, "anything you ask." "I need you to show me, Mark," I said. "I need you to show me that you're truly sorry, that you're truly committed to us." And so began a journey of healing, of reconciliation, of rebuilding trust. It wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt, moments of anger, moments when I wanted to give up. But Mark never gave up on me, on us. He never stopped fighting for our love, for our marriage. The journey of healing wasn't a straight line. It was more like a winding, meandering path, full of twists and turns, ups and downs, moments of joy and moments of despair. I knew that rebuilding trust after Mark's betrayal wouldn't be a quick fix. It would take time, patience, and a lot of effort on both our parts. We had to learn to communicate honestly, to be open and vulnerable with each other. We started by attending couples therapy. It was a challenging but rewarding experience. We learned to identify the patterns that had led to Mark's infidelity and to develop strategies for avoiding them in the future. We explored the root causes of Mark's unhappiness and began to understand the dynamics that had contributed to his actions. Therapy provided a safe space for us to talk openly and honestly about our feelings. It helped us break down the wall of silence that had been building between us. It helped us to rebuild communication, to learn how to listen to each other, to understand each other's needs. As we progressed in therapy, we began to address the underlying issues that had been driving Mark's behavior. He had been struggling with feelings of inadequacy and a sense of being trapped in his career. He felt overwhelmed and unfulfilled, searching for something more in life. We worked on addressing these issues, exploring ways to find more fulfillment in his work, to create a more balanced and fulfilling life. He started to make changes, setting boundaries with his job, making time for his hobbies, and actively engaging in his passions. The process wasn't without its bumps. There were times when we fought, times when I felt myself slipping back into the dark abyss of doubt and anger. But through it all, Mark remained committed to working on our relationship. He consistently demonstrated his love and commitment through his actions. We began to spend more time together, engaging in activities we had neglected during the years of our marriage. We went on hikes, played board games, and had long conversations, simply enjoying each other's company. We reconnected with each other on a deeper level, discovering new aspects of each other's personalities, rekindling the spark that had once ignited our relationship. The path to healing was a journey of introspection, understanding, and forgiveness. We had to forgive ourselves for the mistakes we had made, to forgive each other for the pain we had inflicted. It wasn't about forgetting the past, but about learning from it, about moving forward together, stronger and more united than ever before. As we navigated the treacherous waters of rebuilding our marriage, a sense of normalcy began to creep back into our lives. The air in our home, once thick with tension, began to clear. Laughter, long absent, started to fill the empty spaces. Mark had become a more attentive husband, a more engaged father. He was present, not just physically but emotionally as well. We had learned to communicate openly and honestly, to listen to each other's needs, and to work together to find solutions. But as we settled into a fragile sense of stability, a new challenge emerged. I discovered I was pregnant. The news came as a shock, a whirlwind of emotions swirling within me. It was an unexpected gift, a fresh start, but also a daunting reminder of the fragility of our newfound happiness. Mark was overjoyed. He had always wanted a larger family, and the news of our impending child filled him with a sense of joy and purpose. He showered me with affection, promising to be the best father he could be, yet, I couldn't help but feel a flicker of apprehension. I was apprehensive about starting a family with someone who had betrayed my trust, someone who had hurt me so deeply. The wounds were still fresh, the scars still visible. My fear wasn't entirely irrational. Mark's past actions had shaken my sense of security, casting a shadow of doubt over our future. How could I be sure that he wouldn't betray me again? How could I trust him with another life, with another piece of my heart? I shared my anxieties with Mark, pouring my heart out to him, confessing my fears. He listened patiently, his eyes filled with understanding and compassion. "I understand your fear, Sarah," he said, his voice soft, "but I want you to know that I'm different now. I've changed. I'm committed to our marriage, to our family. I will never betray you again." His words were reassuring, but I still couldn't shake off the lingering doubts. I wanted to believe him, but deep down, a part of me hesitated, clinging to the fear that my anxieties were justified. We began to prepare for the arrival of our baby. We painted the nursery, bought baby clothes, and made plans for the future. Mark's enthusiasm was infectious, his love for me and our unborn child evident in every action. As I felt the tiny kicks within my belly, a new sense of hope began to blossom within me. This little being, this tiny miracle, offered a fresh perspective, a chance to start anew. I began to see our child as a symbol of our resilience, a testament to our ability to overcome adversity. I saw it as an opportunity to create a family based on love, trust, and forgiveness. The arrival of our daughter, Lily, was a transformative experience. She was a beautiful, healthy baby, her tiny fingers clutching mine as she gazed at me with her big, brown eyes. The moment I held her in my arms, all my fears and anxieties melted away. The love I felt for her was overwhelming, a force so powerful it eclipsed all other emotions. Lily was a beacon of hope, a symbol of new beginnings. She brought a sense of joy and purpose into our lives, filling the void that had been left by Mark's betrayal. I watched in awe as Mark interacted with our daughter, his love and tenderness evident in every gentle touch, every soft word. He was a natural father, his heart overflowing with adoration for this tiny human being he had brought into the world. As we settled into a new rhythm of family life, a profound sense of peace settled over our home. Lily was the missing piece we had been yearning for, the catalyst for a new chapter in our story. We learned to navigate the challenges of parenthood together, supporting each other, sharing the responsibilities, and celebrating every milestone. Mark's commitment to our family was unwavering. He was always there for us, present and attentive, a pillar of strength and stability. He made sure we had everything we needed, both physically and emotionally. He helped me with the baby, changing diapers, feeding her, and soothing her when she cried. He was there for me, offering words of encouragement and support when I felt overwhelmed. He also made a conscious effort to spend quality time with me, even though our lives were busier than ever before. He took me out on dates, surprised me with small tokens of affection, and made sure I knew how much I meant to him. The joy of watching Lily grow and develop was immeasurable. We cherished every milestone, every giggle, every first word. We were a family, complete and whole, but the path wasn't always smooth. There were moments of exhaustion, moments of frustration, moments when I felt myself slipping back into the shadows of doubt and anxiety. I had to remind myself of the progress we had made, of the love that bound us together. I had to acknowledge that Mark had earned my trust, that he was truly committed to our family. The scars of betrayal were still there, but they were fading, becoming less prominent with each passing day. The love we shared, the love we had fought so hard to protect, was stronger than ever before. The years that followed Lily's birth were filled with a blend of joy, challenges, and a profound sense of gratitude. We embraced every moment, cherishing the simple pleasures of family life, watching Lily grow, celebrating holidays together, sharing laughter and tears. The shadow of Mark's betrayal had faded, replaced by a deep-seated trust and a renewed appreciation for the preciousness of our bond. He was a dedicated father, always putting Lily's needs first, while simultaneously making sure I felt loved and supported. There were times when life threw curveballs, as it often does. We faced financial strains, navigated the ups and downs of parenting, and grappled with the inevitable challenges of growing together as a family. But through it all, our love for each other, and our unwavering commitment to our family, saw us through. We learned to communicate effectively, to navigate disagreements with respect, and to support each other through thick and thin. As Lily grew older, she became a constant source of joy and wonder. Her laughter filled our home, her inquisitive nature inspired us, and her unconditional love reminded us of the boundless power of human connection. We had built a life together, a foundation of love, trust, and forgiveness that had weathered the storms of adversity and emerged stronger than ever before. I often reflected on the path we had traveled, the journey from despair to healing, from betrayal to forgiveness. It had been a challenging journey, but ultimately, it had led us to a place of profound love, gratitude, and peace. Mark had not only proven his commitment to our family, he had also grown as an individual, becoming a more mature, self-aware, and compassionate person. His unwavering love and support had helped me heal, not just from his betrayal, but also from the scars of past hurts. Our story wasn't a fairy tale, but it was a testament to the enduring power of love, the resilience of the human spirit, and the transformative nature of forgiveness. We had faced our demons, learned from our mistakes, and emerged stronger, more connected, and more grateful for the gift of our family. And as I looked at my husband, the man who had once broken my heart, and then, with such unwavering dedication, rebuilt it, I knew that our journey, though fraught with challenges, was a testament to the enduring strength of love. This is the end of I Gave My Husband an Ultimatum today. I hope you enjoyed listening to our story. Thank you for joining us.